Welcome, friends. My name is Avinash and I welcome you to another episode of Face to Face series, where we interview, emerging corporates from various sectors and promising companies, and talk about their business models, their future growth prospects, and have a chat with the senior top management, which can help us understand the company better. And today, friends, we have a very interesting company by the name of Southwest Pinnacle Exploration Limited. And we have with us, Mr. Vikas Jain, who's the founder, chairman, and managing director of this company. Vikas ji, thank you for sparing your valuable time and coming for this show. It's been a pleasure for us to spend good quality time with you, and we'll be able to understand your company better.
Yeah, thank you, Avinash ji, for introducing me and our company, Southwest Pinnacle Exploration Limited.
Vikas ji, first question which I would like to ask you, in the beginning is that, if you could tell us something about your business journey, how did you start this business, and what is the business model of this company? What sectors does the company, actually cater? If you could give us some information and color on this so that, our participants can all understand what this company is all about.
Okay, we started our journey in 2006 and landed up with the first contract drilling in kimberlite for Rio Tinto, which happens to be a global mining giant. So the first project was nothing but drilling in kimberlite in Panna region, which is near Damo in Madhya Pradesh. And so we started with just one rig, and then we graduated to other domains of exploration, CBM exploration, CBM production, aquifer mapping, shale gas, geothermal, 2D, 3D seismic for oil and gas and coal. And then now we have graduated to a mining company by acquisition of a coal block in Jharkhand, and also taking a long-term mining service contract in Oman.
Okay.
Our business model is very simple, but first coming to the kind of business we provide, the kind of business we are into. So, the company can be divided into three parts. So first being exploration and allied services. So exploration and allied services is our established business. We have been doing it since inception, and we have been adding new domains year by year, time by time, client by client, as and when the client needs a particular kind of services. We support them, and in turn they support us by giving us an opportunity. This segment is growing well at the rate of 15 to 20% every year. But now we can see with government impetus on exploration and mining, I can see a huge upside in this segment of our business in coming years, because government is very keen to provide employment, increase their GDP. They want to focus more on import substitution. Currently, a lot of minerals which are there in India are being forcibly because government has not been keen to develop this sector. But now government has opened its eyes, and now they want to focus. They are giving a lot of priority to this mining and exploration sector. So this is one business which we have, so which we can discuss in detail later on. The second business, the second line of business which we have is our Middle East Oman business. So Oman business is drilling business, which we are providing to mineral sector in Oman. Second being a long-term mining service contract. That's an 11-year contract which we started in February this year. We see Oman, Oman as being a second largest GCC country. Oman, the government of Oman, or I would say the Sultanate of Oman, is focusing out of oil. They want to focus more on non-oil business. So one being, since it's a mineral-rich country, one being developing the mineral sector, and the other being tourism. So we fit into the mineral part of their vision. The third being the coal business. So we are putting a lot of emphasis on coal business now. We see that there is a huge upside on coal mining. in India, and the dependence on the coal being the driving force for energy in coming years. Uh, the coal production as on date stands at about 700 to 800 million ton. Uh, we see coal going up to 1 billion ton in next year or so, and the total requirement for coal would be 1.4 billion ton uh, in by 2030. Uh, so we have the coal block has already been allotted to us. Uh, the currently the process of development and the clearances from the local government is going on, which we expect to get it very soon. Central government has already initiated a single window clearance system. We expect once we get the clearance from the state government, uh, things would be fast, and we expect to start the production in financial year later side of the financial year 24-25. So this is the kind of business we are into. The business model for exploration business is very simple. We are providing services to who is who of India in mining. You can say we are providing services to the 10 big mining companies and oil and gas companies in India. Our clients are Coal India Limited, Hindustan Zinc, ONGC, Oil India Limited, Hindalco, Adani, you name it, and they are our clients. So you can segregate our clients into two parts. One being government organization, which are mainly done through tendering system. So you have to technically qualify yourself. Uh, and then once you are technically qualified, then they invite you to participate through a prize bid. So you have to be L1. Now they are changing it to giving point system. Uh, they are segregating the company into T1, T2, T3 as well, which gives a lot of impetus to a company like us who believe in quality services. The second being the private side of the business. They are done through invitation. They invite us to provide them the quotation. They discuss with us, and they do negotiation and they award the contract. So we have the distinction of getting repeat orders from our client. So this is our business model for exploration business.
You're fine. I think Amitji, just one small request. Yeah, now since you have briefly told us about your business model,
Yeah.
if you can tell us, for the oil exploration market, for the mining market, and for the coal market, in which all, in all these sectors, companies present, what is the kind of opportunity over the next, say, 3 to 4 years? Because we hear a lot of news on
Yes,
coal
I'll.
mining. So if you could
Yes,
share your
I'll.
thoughts, and
I'll,
include that
I'll tell
also.
you. I'll tell you business wise and sector wise, since we are present in multiple sectors. So coming to mineral sector, which is coal and non-oil, coal and non-coal. Now, government is putting a lot of emphasis on developing the mineral sector. So what they are doing is they are inviting auctions for coal block and for non-coal block. There are almost up to 500 non-coal blocks and up to 200 coal blocks in line for auctions. One of them we participated in and we got the block. Now, uh, most of the blocks can fall into two category: greenfield and a brownfield. Uh, the virgin areas are called greenfield, so where we have to go and do the exploration. Brownfield blocks also requires exploration. While the production mining is going on, they still need a lot of production drilling or brownfield exploration required to expand their current blocks. So there is a lot of business opportunity for a company like us, who is a key player in exploration industry. Now, this is for the mineral sector, which has coal and non-coal. Now, coming to the oil and gas sector. Now, oil and gas sector, there are two programs. One is the National Seismic Program, whereby they have to carry out 2D and 3D seismic all over India. Now, we see a lot of opportunities in this sector, by providing seismic services to both companies like Oil India, ONGC, and also Coal India. Now, coal exploration is also now being done through seismic, and we were the first company to get a fully integrated 2D, 3D seismic along with drilling for Coal India. We were the first company which was awarded this kind of a contract, which was kind of drilling as well as seismic, integrated services. Now, second being in oil and gas, second being OALP, which is called Oil Acreage Licensing Policy. A lot of blocks are being auctioned under this category. So when these blocks are being auctioned, it can be also for CBM and non-CBM. It can also include geothermal as well as shale gas. So we are basically providing services, production drilling services to non-conventional oil and gas, which is CBM, shale gas, and geothermal. So this is the kind of opportunity we have. Plus, now we are into mining also. We would develop ourselves into a mining company. That is where the growth is going to come from in the future.
And as far as the coal business is concerned, you said the coal mining block, hopefully the operations would start by 24, 25.
Yes.
If you could tell us something that, what was the bidding process, how much time you took to, get this, a coal mine allocated to you, and what was the initial capex involved, because obviously this must be a long lease mine, which you all have acquired. So if you could share some data points on that, that will be really be helpful.
Yeah, I'll tell you. I'll tell you about my background first, Avinash ji. We are basically a family which has roots in Jharkhand. My father, my grandfather, they were miners. We have been with coal business since last 50 years.
Okay.
My father has done contract mining for Coal India. They have done private mining for before nationalization. He has also done private mining for mine owners. So this was a natural progression for me, for Southwest Pinnacle and me to venture into coal mining, because I myself, before this company was founded, I myself was engaged in coal mining, contract coal mining business. So it is not new for us. We have been doing it. My family has been doing it. This block which we have acquired, Jogeshwar and Jogeshwar Khas block, which has about 84 million ton of geological reserve. This is very near to my place of birth, where I was born. So we are known to this area. We know in and out about this area. So that prompted me to, and then there was an opportunity by the government when they put this block into auction, along with the other two blocks which we participated in, but we could not get it. But God was kind enough for this block, and we got this block at a very low revenue sharing as compared to the other two blocks which we could not get. So this is, as far as the investment is concerned, this is a partially explored block. So exploration has been carried out by MEC in past. This block earlier belonged to Jharkhand State Mineral Development Corporation. So the best thing about a partially explored block is you don't have to make an upfront investment with the government. To the government, you need to first, besides the performance bank guarantee and the amount which the earlier allottee has spent, besides that amount, you have to invest some amount in further exploration, which we are going to carry out once we get the clearance from the state government. So clearance would be nothing but clearance for prospecting as well as approval of mining lease. So once we get that clearance, we would start investing in exploration. So exploration will not take more than 3 to 6 months. So by exploration, we mean preparation of geological report as well as preparation of a mining plan. Now, once the mining plan is approved by the central government, Ministry of Coal, the real thing starts. So once the mining plan is approved, you need to apply for forest and environmental clearance. So they are done at the state level as well as the central level. So
Okay.
central level, as I have said earlier, single window clearance has been initiated. It would be very fast. And that is the reason which is giving us confidence that we will be able to start the production in financial year 24-25, the later side of financial year. Although the government has given us 63 months, but we
Okay.
expect to start it much earlier.
Okay.
So the investments, the real investments would take place once the mining plan is approved by the central government.
Okay. Fine. I think because you very articulate, mentioned by you. Now tell me one thing. Tell us something about your Oman project in detail. Like you mentioned, it's a 11-year contract
Yes.
where you have entered. Now, basically, for what product is this mining contract for, and what is the strategic intent of the company to be present in a market like Oman? Like, what kind of growth do you expect, to come to the company over the next, say, 3 to 5 years? Since it's a long-term contract, how would this benefit this company in the longer term? If you could
Okay.
give some color.
As I have said that Oman is the second largest country in GCC, and Oman is very rich in terms of mineral resources. They have abundance of copper, limestone, marble, uh, along with oil and gas, which everybody knows. Uh, gypsum is there. So Oman is opening up. It's a very nice country to work. We have been traveling to Oman since last 8 years. We landed up with the first contract in 2013. That is how we came to know about Oman. Uh, so Oman, I have been personally very passionate about Oman, and I think that Oman being very near to India, uh, they are culturally, we are very much associated with each other. Almost one third of the population comes from India in Oman. They have a lot of love and affection towards Indian and Indian community. So I always personally, as a company and myself, we always thought that Oman would be a natural progression if the company has to start giving services to a foreign land. So as far as the opportunities in Oman is concerned, we are currently executing a copper mining contract. So what we have done is it's a joint venture between us, a company from Australia, as well as a local company in Oman. So we have taken the contract as a company, and we have given the contract, means we have offloaded the contract to a local company in Oman. Uh, we see a lot of opportunities in Oman now, because once we have started giving mining services, there are other minings which are being opened up, and which will be opened up in next year or so, 2 years, 3 years down the line. So once we established ourselves as a mining company in Oman, there would be other opportunities coming up in copper as well as in limestone. So currently we are drilling in limestone for Tata Steels in Oman. So we expect that once this limestone project for Tata Steel develops, we would go forward, and we would be more than happy to execute their mining projects as well. So I'm quite bullish on Oman, and we have a strong footing now, and provided if it is backed up by good investments, we can do wonders in Oman.
Okay. Vikash, just one small question relating to this Oman venture. Currently, how big is the revenue part? If you could share some, maybe
Okay,
not a number,
so
but in
yeah,
terms of
so the
percentage.
total contract is $125 million contract,
Okay.
which has to be done in next 11 years. So
Okay.
roughly it would be about 100 crores a year. So
Okay.
our share of the joint venture would be 35 crores.
Okay.
So yeah, and from drilling services, we own two rigs in Oman, which are currently deployed in limestone drilling. So
Okay.
with those two rigs, we can easily get a revenue of about 3 to 4 crores, or maybe around four crores every year.
Okay. Fine. And another thing which I noticed in your annual report, which has just come for March 22, Vikasji, is that, your total order book is around 200 crores. So,
Yes.
if you could give us a breakup of this order book for which sector, what is the rough order book? If you could give us some idea what comes from mining, what comes from, oil and exploration services, थोड़ा बहुत अगर आप उसका ब्रेकअप दोगे तो दैट विल बी रियली बी हेल्पफुल.
Okay, I'll give you the breakup. अभी इसमें माइनिंग सर्विसेज नहीं है, बिकॉज माइनिंग सर्विसेज हम इंडिया में प्रोवाइड नहीं कर रहे हैं अविनाश जी. इसमें जो $125 million कॉन्ट्रैक्ट है वो अलग है, दैट इज फॉर ओमान बिजनेस.
Okay.
So this 250 or 225 odd crores of order book which we currently have in India is purely for Southwest Pinnacle.
Okay.
Now Southwest, now as far as this thing is concerned, almost uh, about 20% belongs to seismic, which is integrated seismic project, which we are doing for CNPDI, which is a subsidiary of Coal India.
Okay.
Then we are executing a long-term contract for Hindustan Zinc. Then there are other contracts for which are coming from AMD, drilling contract from CMPDI, which is a subsidiary of Coal India. Then there are a few gold mining contracts, underground drilling contract from Hindustan Copper. So overall, if I have to say, almost 2/3 of the business is coming from the mineral exploration side, and 1/3 is coming from the oil and gas sector. There is a small contract from aquifer mapping also, roughly about 8 crores, which we are doing for the government of Punjab for a deep well aquifer mapping.
Okay.
So it's a mix of contract. It keeps on increasing. It keeps on decreasing. But now, since we have participated in so many upcoming contracts in different segments, so we expect the order book to jump, and to give us a boost.
No, fine. Because in this industry, if you can tell me, is there some concept like L1? जो normally we
Yes.
talk to companies, they tell us L1 में इतने order है. तो मोटा मोटी L1 में आपके कितने orders होंगे? If you can share the number if it is possible.
You mean to say order in progress?
No, I mean, yeah, which is not confirmed, but you all are trying the pipeline, just to understand the pipeline of orders which can
नहीं,
come.
इसमें जैसे आज ही मेरे को मालूम पड़ा, एक टेंडर में हमने पार्टिसिपेट किया है, उसमें भी सिंगल पार्टी, so वो हमें मिलना ही है. So that would be to the tune of 12 crores.
Okay.
So if you talk about confirm order, this is the confirm order we have got. Now we have participated in so many other contracts, so they are to the tune of 300 to 400 crores. So we expect that at least if we get 1/3 out of it, then we are also privately negotiating with private clients. So if we are successful, and we are very hopeful of getting those contracts, that would be adding another 100 to 150 crores in next 3 months. So I expect the order book to be around 400 crores in next 3 to 4 months.
Okay, fine. Because one more question which I wanted to ask you is, normally when we get an order from a client and it is a 3 to 5 year order, or maybe a 10-year order, first of all, I want to understand what is the duration of the order normally.
Yeah.
And secondly, what is the kind of price increase which the company gets? Like, is it a fixed price contract, or is it like based on the cost which you incur? The cost escalation clause is also put in these contracts.
In government contracts, we do have cost escalation. Diesel escalation is provided for in government contracts. Private contracts, some of them are giving us escalation. Some of them are asking us to build the escalation part while we are negotiating with them. So this is the escalation part of the business. What was the other question you asked, Avinash?
I said normally when you enter a contract with the customer, is it a 5-year contract?
Yeah. So some contracts are long-term contracts, like as you said about Oman, it's an 11-year contract. Now in India, we don't have such a big contract. So the biggest contract we are working on right now is a 3-year contract in zinc. Now, one contract we are negotiating with a private client would be a 3-year contract. Most of the contracts are 6 months to 12 months contract, but there are some small contracts also which are like 2 to 3 months old, like 2 to 3 months. But we plan our deployment of rigs accordingly. So when we know that this contract is going to get over in 3 months, so one month of gestation period, which we call demobilization. So we start participating on those tenders which are apt for those rigs which are going to get free. So we quote accordingly. So when we quote, sometimes we quote to take the work, sometimes we just quote to be in the market. So the tenders keep coming up we have a very strong BD team, a business development team. So those keep coming up, and depending on the availability of rigs and other equipments which we have, 2D and 3D seismic
Yeah.
logging units which we have, we keep quoting. So the idea is to keep our assets utilized throughout the year.
Okay, understood. Vikas ji, now coming briefly on the financials of your company, if you could tell us some numbers, especially for financial year FY22 in terms of your top line, in terms of your operating profit and profit after tax. And since the first quarter of this financial year is already completed, can you tell us that is there any seasonality in your business, like second
Yes,
quarter अच्छा होता है या चौथा quarter अच्छा होता है? तो इसके बारे में थोड़ी हमको information दे दीजिए.
there is coming to financials. Last year we did a top line of about 120 crores. There was a growth of almost about 14 to 15% on top line. The PAT was about 11 crores approximately, and the EBITDA was about 21%.
Okay.
This year we would be growing by another 15 to 20% approx in terms of top line. The first quarter was in line expectation. Second quarter being rainy season, but we are going to do well in second quarter as well. But overall, the service, since we are not a manufacturing company, we are a service provider. So there are always ups and downs. So I keep advocating that instead of quarterly system, we should have an option of, in SME we do have an option of 6 months.
Yeah, exactly.
But now since we are a listed company in main board, we don't have any other option but to publish our results quarterly. So rainy season do affect our business if we are in that zone. Mostly we are working in eastern part of India. So rainy season, creates a havoc. And this year itself, there was a lot of rains in Odisha and Jharkhand. North India, even it is raining now as we speak. So there is a seasonality aspect. If we are lucky enough, we get out of it. If we are not, we are trapped. Yeah, but overall, the company is doing well in terms of growth. And we should expect the same amount of growth as we have achieved last year in FY22-23. The prospect looks very good as far as the future is concerned. Government is focusing giving a lot of emphasis on exploration sector. India is still an underexplored country. We are not we're not as good as what Australia is doing, what Canada is doing, what South Africa is doing. Our exploration budget is still very, very less as compared to these developed countries. And the government of India knows very well that if they have to develop the mining sector, a lot of budget has to be, lot of money has to be spent on the exploration sector. If they have to increase the GDP, which is currently 1.7% contributed by the mining sector, if they have to go up to 2.5%, which they are forecasting, they have to really invest a lot in this exploration side of mining business. So this is what the government of India is doing.
Fine. Vikas ji, now tell me one thing. You mentioned that a lot of orders are in the L1 stage. Possibly, you will be able to get confirmations very soon. Now, in this business, what is the capital requirement for this business? Is धंधे में थोड़ा सा पैसा आपको लगाना पड़ता है कोई
yes, this is a highly capital intensive industry, which in a way is good and bad both. Because bad because it needs a lot of capital, good because it puts it puts a barrier entry to the new entrant.
Exactly.
So in every business we do, we have 2 or 3 competitors. So we know who's getting what from a particular contract. We know where their rigs are deployed, where their seismic equipments are deployed, whether they'll be able to participate, or even if they participate, how desperate they are to take this contract. So in a way, we try to judge, we try to make a decision as to how much we have to quote while participating in the tender.
Fine, Vikas ji, I just wanted to understand ki, since you mentioned that the business is capital intensive, I was just seeing your financials for last 2-3 years. In fact, I was seeing that the company has managed its asset ratio, that is the utilization ratio, very well. थोड़ा सा expansion करने के बाद भी, you guys have delivered a very good top line. So going forward, if you get a lot many new orders, so can we expect that the company will have to invest more in fixed
Yes,
assets,
yes,
little more rigs? So uske
yes.
upar, broadly, what
Now,
could be the kind of
no,
capex
no,
you?
we are currently negotiating with a private client for a long-term contract. So in that contract, uh, an investment of about $2.5 million would be required. So
Okay,
we have already purchased the rig. It is being so while we are speaking, it is being constructed.
okay,
Uh, yeah, so that would be a long-term contract. This would give a lot of boost to our company. In addition to that, we expect to invest some more funds into our seismic business. The seismic business is going to be in boom in coming times through their national seismic program. The idea is, the idea is to invest and recover the amount as soon as possible and make your assets free.
exactly.
So yeah, so that is the idea. So if there is an opportunity which comes to us, the banks are there to support us. They like us. They want to support us in any way, in any possible manner they can. So if required, if the work permits, we would be investing in new equipments. As far as the exploration side of business is concerned, Oman business doesn't require any investment because, as I told you, it has been outsourced, the complete mining contract. Yeah, a lot of investment is going to happen in the coal mining business, but that would be subject to the approval of the mining plan by the Ministry of Coal. So once that is done, we are going to have a lot of support from the bank. They are willing to support us. Market would support us. We would be asking for debts. So people are there to support us. But yeah, that is subject to the approval of the mining plan. And we expect the mining plan to be approved uh, in the first quarter of, or maybe in the first half of the next financial year.
Okay, fine. Because one simple question which I wanted to understand is that when you plan capital investments, do you plan it when you got confirmed orders? जब आपको order मिलती है तभी आप capital expansion के बात में सोचते हो या
See, it all, yeah, it
before
all
that you
depends.
make some investment?
Yeah, it all depends on the mobilization time being given by the client. Now we qualify because of our past credentials. So we will be qualified technically. Price bid will be opened. So we try to do a judgment that, okay, now they are giving us 4 months. So manufacturing of this particular kind of equipment would take 2 months, and let's say 1 month would be a shipping time. So in those cases, we would wait till we are L1 in those
Okay,
cases. But in
yeah,
some cases, we know that the construction of the equipment would take 1 year, nine
okay,
months or 1 year time. So there we cannot wait for us to be L1. So we would take a calculated risk. So okay, even if we are not L1, what happens otherwise? So we will assume that, okay, we may not be L1 here, but we may be L1 in some other contracts where the same machine will be deployed. So
okay,
here we take a calculated risk, and
okay,
what our pocket allows.
okay, okay. Understood. So I think you
Because
take a
sometimes, Avinash, they pay you off. If you have
okay,
a ready machine available, the client pays you premium.
okay, okay. Fine. Understood. I think so, now it is very clear that, you take a call based on your judgment, on how quickly the order has to be executed.
Yes.
So, Vikasji, this is understood. Now, Vikasji, tell me on the working capital side, we have seen a lot of improvement, I was just seeing your cash conversion cycle days in 22 compared to 21, बहुत कम हो चुके हैं. So what were the initiatives, company has taken? Because normally, we find that when you deal with the government, normally working capital cycle थोड़ा सा elongated होता है. So on a very normal basis, now COVID is not there, business is again picking up. What is your sense? Can we expect some further improvement on the working capital
Yes.
side for our
Yes.
company?
See, we have been focusing a lot of, we have been putting a lot of emphasis on private clients now. So private clients are, better paymaster than government clients. I'm not against government clients. They have been our bread and butter.
Yeah.
They have supported us a lot. Uh, uh, we have been able to manage our fund flow, internal fund flow very well. We have been following up payments from our clients vigorously on weekly basis. We have been paid a lot of retention money, which were lying idle for last so many years. So that is how we have been able to improve our payment cycle. Definitely, this is a working capital intensive industry. A lot of funds are stuck up in stocks, inventories, which move around along with the rigs. But that is part and parcel of the business. As I told you before, that is the plus point also, and that is the negative point also.
Exactly. Because just one more question on the thought process and the strategy of the company is that you said you got mining, you got oil and exploration, now coal mining will also begin.
Yes.
So over the next say 2 to 3 years, Vikasji, according to you, which would be the most aggressive area where you will be looking at major growth coming in? Will it be coal mining, whether it will be oil and exploration, or will it be a combination of all these three sectors? You know, growth will come
See,
from.
I think the growth impetus will come from mining.
Okay.
Yeah, that is what is going to give the new dimension to this company. Exploration business is already settled and established. It will grow at a definite pace, in the next 3 to 5 years. So it will keep on growing, and we are established player, and we are key player in this industry. But the real growth will come from coal, and the company will not end up just being a coal miner. There are other non-coal auctions also, which the state governments and the central governments are going to launch. So whenever we find a good opportunity, we would just jump upon it. And we being an exploration company, that is an advantage, because we have worked in those areas, so we know the in and outs. We know the local conditions, local issues. We know what is there, what is in store. So we have a lot of idea, or we have a lot of kickstart advantage what other bidders don't have. Like for example, Jageshwar and Khas Jageshwar. So we knew about it because we are locals. So we knew that what is there inside. So we had an idea. So what advantage we have when we bid, other companies will not have, because we are an exploration company. So we are present on ground.
Okay. So fine, understood, Vikasji. Now, Vikasji, tell me one thing. Every business has got its challenges. So, what could be the biggest risk in your business? Like, सारे businesses में कोई ना कोई तो risk
Yes,
होता ही है.
definitely.
So now,
Where there is no risk, there is no business.
so, but tell me one thing. Now, during COVID, how did the company cope up? And post-COVID, how the company is gearing up for the future? Because finally, most importantly, your activity is largely outdoor. Obviously, your kind of company cannot run a business by keeping all their employees on online. You all have to go to the actual site and actually deliver the numbers. So in your business, how do you mitigate this kind of risk? Normally, jo natural calamities hoti hai, plus any kind of business risk. So how is the company, gearing up to face these challenges? Because
Okay.
obviously
Now,
risk
yeah.
is also equally important.
Okay. So now coming to COVID. So obviously the initial days, like any other business, we were like, our mind was blank. What to do? What is the future of this company? Everything came to standstill, and that too at a very crucial time, which was almost the end of the financial year 20.
Exactly.
And the last 15 days of the financial year, when there was no revenue. So, but since we are in the essential sector, we are in the mining and exploration sector. So the government allowed work who are providing essential services. So one by one, project by project, we took permission from the local authorities and started production. So we were almost normal. We had normal operations by mid-May 2020. So yeah, but we lost 2 months. We lost 2 months. So that is the COVID part of. But fortunately, God was kind. We did the best business in 2021 in terms of revenue till date. Means not till date, till that particular day, that particular year. So COVID we did well. The cost came down. That was the brighter side of COVID. There was no traveling. We learned to know how we can do business online, drilling business online. So we were able to manage cost very well. We saved a lot of working capital on traveling, on business promotion. So But yeah, but as I had said, any business, there is no business without risk. So we can classify the risk as internal and external as far as Southwest Pinnacle is concerned. So when you talk about internal risk, obviously these are tender-based contracts. So there is a risk involved. But how do we mitigate this risk? We mitigate this risk through our judgment. That what would be the rig availability, what would be the equipment availability when the time for mobilization would be due. So we try to quote accordingly. So there are very few competitors in our in our domain. So we know the strengths and weaknesses of all our competitors. There are some external risks like which are there with all the mining and exploration business. We are dealing with local people, so there are local issues, local farmers, local panchayats, local authorities. They create problems, but yeah, but everything is accounted for when we do bidding. We keep some time extra for dealing with these issues. Then there are issues with mining as a whole. There is a global issue with coal, but what can we do? If we need coal, we need coal, we need power. So for power, we need coal. So these kind of global risks are mitigated by the necessity of the requirement. If we need coal, we need coal. There's nothing. There is no alternate.
Exactly.
Like as I said, that the requirement for coal would be 1.4 billion tons. So there's another 60% addition in next 8 years.
Exactly.
So it can only come by opening up mining sector. There is no two thoughts about it. If the government of India has to reduce dependence on imports, they have to open up mining sector. You'll be surprised to know, Avinash, that $78 billion is spent on imports of precious metal, and we are sitting on gold. We are sitting on gold and kimberlite. The entire Andhra Pradesh, some parts of Rajasthan, Karnataka, we have a lot of gold deposits, but it is not being exploited to its full potential.
Exactly.
We have so much of coal. We are W4. The mines which is allotted to us is a W4 category coal, that is semi-coking coal. We are importing coking coal.
Yeah.
So we have the resources. We have so much of non-conventional source of energy lying beneath our land in the form of shale gas, in the form of CVM, geothermal, but we are not exploiting it fully. So India is full of resources. So the only way we can do it is to open up. Exactly. So that is the only way we can reduce our import dependence, and we can save our valuable foreign exchange. Exactly. So the government has to, and I'm very hopeful that government will do something, and in fact they are doing a lot of things to encourage mining and exploration sector.
Yeah, because I think very nicely articulated by you. Now, tell me one thing, a related question to what you mentioned about coal. Currently, all of us know what is happening in Europe. There is a very big energy crisis there. Companies and basically the entire country is now again focused on fossil fuel. They were dependent on natural gas.
Exactly.
So in your sense, how sustainable is the prices of coal? Because ये आपके लिए बहुत अच्छी बात है कि coal की कीमतें 70-80% साल में बढ़ी है. So can this trend continue for some more time? If this economic crisis, especially Russia and Ukraine, whatever has happened, and that has impacted European economy in a big way. So, any thoughts on this, if you could share, how it will impact coal miners?
See, you'll be surprised to know that, there is a national index of coal. So that is published by the Ministry of Coal on time-to-time basis. So the kind of coal grade we are into, the current index price is about 3,700 rupees a ton. So when the Coal India makes an auction of the same coal, it is being sold at more than 12,000 rupees a ton. Okay. So this is the difference between the index value of the coal as on date and the real market value of the coal. So yeah, so the value of coal is not going anywhere. The demand for coal will increase, but so will the production. So recently government has allocated almost, if I'm not wrong, about 35 to 40 mines, coal mines. We are one of them.
Okay.
So that will increase the total production, peak rated capacity by
Okay.
almost 35 to 40 million tons per annum.
Okay.
But the actual production increase up to 2030 would be almost to the tune of 500 million tons.
Okay.
So where is the balance coal going to come from?
Exactly.
So we have a lot of strength to develop our own coal mines, and I think government will be left with no other option, or I would say government is left with no other option but to develop these mines to fulfill or satisfy the needs of coal for
Exactly.
energy in coming years.
So fine. I think this is also very well, spoken by you. Now, Vikasji, one thing on the managerial side, on the employee side, since your business is a very labor intensive business, also you require a special quality of people to deliver
Yes.
on these projects. So my simple question to you is, how have you been able to motivate your employees? How have you been able to retain key employees in your company? Because this is also a very big challenge for you. I understand. You need to have the right people, and they need to be with your company if you want to deliver all these new orders, new
See,
projects.
there are always two components of motivating people. Uh,
Please.
first being first being providing them with good financial benefits as per the industry standard. But more important than providing financial benefit, love and respect is what they want. And we are like a small family. We treat them like a family, and their problem is our problem, and our problem is their problem. So we all work as a team, and all our vision is combined to make this company a successful company in exploration as well as mining in coming years. So yeah, so we are a balance. We do a balanced approach of young and people who are experienced. Um, you know, Me and my brother, who is also the co-promoter of the company, we run this company together along with a very beautiful, experienced managerial team who are uh, uh, who are not only our colleagues but also our friends. So we all, like colleagues and friends, we all work together to realize the dream of this company.
No, fine. I think Vikasji, this is very well articulated. Now, tell me one thing. You mentioned a lot about mining. You also mentioned that oil and exploration is a very important area. Then seismic services is also another important segment. Now, can we assume that in the next 3 years, Southwest Pinnacle exploration can be a very big player in the mining as well as in the coal sector? Can we assume that this part of the
No,
business can show a big
see,
sustained rise?
mining. See, um, we have just been allocated one mine. So definitely we will not be a big player in coal mining
I mentioned in
in
terms
three
of your
years.
revenue, in terms of your revenue mix, can coal
Yeah,
mining
yeah,
be a big contributor? That is what I
yeah.
wanted
I
to know.
think I think once we start coal mining production, initially it will be less. Then over the period of next 3 years, once we achieve the full peak rated capacity of the allotted production, which is defined by the government of India, we would be able to be at par with our exploration business.
Okay, fine.
But ultimately, the growth will come from mining only,
Okay,
because
fine.
growth and profitability will come from mining only. That is
Okay,
our vision. We want to be a mining company having a lot of experience and in exploration services. So the idea is to create a company which is providing not only exploration services but is a mining company also.
okay, fine. Because
Yeah,
my
but
last
obviously, mining, we would not be a huge mining company. I would be very upfront in saying that. But yeah, for this size of the company, uh, 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 revenue and the profit coming from the mining side of the from business will definitely make our shareholders very, very happy.
okay, fine. Understood. Because my last
Yeah,
question to
but yeah,
you is
one thing I will add, Avinash, is that okay, once we establish ourselves as a coal mining company, and when we have a lot of surplus cash, we are not going to sit idle. We would be in search for new mining blocks. we would be in search for blocks other than coal. So the idea is we would develop, we will become a big company in next maybe 10 years time. So we cannot be a big company in 3 years time, but we will definitely be a very big company in 10 years time.
No, understood. I think your strategy is very simple. You want to first consolidate your existing operations
Yeah.
and then one.
Exactly. We want to be, yeah, we want to make our foundation strong. We want to have a strong footing where we are, and
Okay.
then we will take on.
Okay. No, understood. I think very well, told by you. Because my last question to you is that now since Southwest Pinnacle Exploration is a public limited company, you have got public shareholders. In what way can the shareholders expect, what kind of growth and what kind of message would you like to give to them, as far as the long-term prospects of this company are concerned?
See, I can only say that keep having faith in us. Keep invested. Company has a good future. All the three segments are doing very well. There may not be revenue from coal business right now, but in next like in next 2.5 3 years, we will have revenue from the coal business as well. The invested, you have invested your hard-earned money, and they are safe with us. Just have faith, and results will be delivered.
Okay, I think Vikasji, thank you very much for your valuable time. In fact, friends, we got a very insightful discussion from Vikasji today, and I definitely know this will help all the investors who have already invested and who want to know more about the company. So, Vikasji, once again, thank you very much and best wishes to you and your team. I think we'll definitely like to catch up in future also. So, thank you
Yeah,
very much.
thank you so much, Avinash, for this opportunity, and nice to have met you online.
Yeah,
And it was very, very fruitful. And I've personally learned a lot from you today.
okay.
And thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.